Hey gang, it's Bryan from FXBilliards. Today we are going to look at a couple different runouts on 8-ball. I'm going to show you how I would run the rack. Now, there is more than one way, especially as an advanced player, for you to run a number of different layouts. You can try it on your own. You can also download any of the diagrams that we use in this or any of our future videos. If you go to fxbilliards.net for free, you can subscribe and receive all of the downloads that we publish from any layouts that we use diagrams for going forward. And you'll have full access to those diagrams 24/7. So let's look at this right now. And I'm going to take ball in hand because that's what we have. And I'm going to work this cluster first, because without making this cluster, the balls in this cluster, I can't run out. So many players, especially low level or intermediate level players, will leave these things later in the rack thinking, oh, I was going to get to it. You guys have heard me say that about players all the time. I know in the diagram it looks like the 1 is makeable, but we're going to assume that it's not, and on the table it is not. So what we're going to do is take our ball in hand and give ourselves an angle where we not only break up the cluster, but we hit the 2-ball, preferably on the outside, first, so that we're on that side of the 1. It is very important that you look at how you break up clusters, not just the fact that you want to break up the cluster. Coming in here and hitting the 1-2 from the inside, from that side of the table, doesn't help you much, because now you're behind those 2 balls. You want to be on this side, so pay attention to how you're going into the clusters. So I've given myself a nice little angle that takes me to the 2-ball with a little bit of draw. And now you can see I've got a shot on everything. I've got a shot on the 1-ball, which I would not have had if I had come in the other way. I'm going to play it left-handed, but guys, pick up the bridge already, okay? I'm going to play it left-handed just for convenience purposes and get on this 7, and then everything else should be a wrap. We're just going to tap in this 7-ball. And remember, that 5 is a great key ball. So that's what we're looking at, trying to preserve that ball. The 4, we're going to need to get over here to play, so we may end up calling an audible. But let's see how good we can get on that 6. And I'm going to shoot a draw shot on this 6-ball. Come out a little bit for the 4. I'm going to play this with inside high left here. Cut it in there. Another stretch shot, I'll play left-handed on the 5. And we're on the 8, and it's a wrap. So again, guys, you can play them off any way you want. But I want you to understand a couple things. Break up your clusters, know where everything is going, have a plan to get to this ball down here. Try to work that end of the table and then this end of the table anytime you can. Here's the situation. We're on the low balls once again. We have only one issue, because everything else is makeable. The 1 ball is down here on the short rail, which we can get on. It's not a problem. Advanced players are out no matter where I tell you to shoot first. Shoot the 3 first and get on the 1, they can do it. But we need to increase our odds of getting out. And there's one thing we do not want to do here, and that is to leave the 1 ball as a key ball to get on the 8, which is at the other end of the table, which, yes, we can get on it, but do you really want to? For $1,000, which ball would you rather be shooting at before the 8? Probably the 3 or the 4. So, that said, and by the way, ask yourself that question when you're looking at these layouts. Do I really want to be shooting the 1 to get on the 8 for $1,000, or do I want to shoot the 3 or 4 to get on the 8 for $1,000? Just asking yourself that question will win more games for you guys. So, here we go. First thing I want to do is I want to use one of these side pockets to get down table for the 3. It just makes sense. The second thing I want to do is I want to use the other side pocket to transition down table. And you may say to yourself, well, why don't you come down here and then shoot down there? No, if I can shoot a couple 4-foot shots, why do I want to shoot an 8-foot shot when I don't need to? It's sitting in the pocket. This is why we run one side of the table and then the other. Now, which ball do I want to shoot first to get on the 1? The 2 ball gets me on the 1, just like the 5 does. But the 2 ball takes me into these balls here. Bad things happen when you're shooting towards your opponent's balls. So what we can do is use the 5 a couple ways. We could shoot a little draw here and get an angle on the 1, but because we have such an angle right now, it's a little bit tougher. And I want this video to be accessible to intermediate players. So what we do is we draw back just a little bit, and now we have a much friendlier angle to play on that 1 ball. So it looks like this, a little bit of draw. You could follow it, but this draw shot is going to be a lot more accurate as far as getting the position we want on this 1 ball. And hopefully, I mean, we really did a bad job on that because we left ourselves on the rail. So we punch it with a bunch of left-hand spin. We're off the rail. The 4 is makeable from anywhere, so I'm not even worried about it. Right here, I'm just thinking about make the 2 ball, and I'm going to have a shot on the 4. And then, once again, we could shoot a stop shot there, but I'm just going to tap it in and play the 8 ball, and then we are out. So that rack was a very simple case of we can make a lot of different balls there, but how we dealt with this 1 and getting on the 8 was the most important thing. A lot of these runouts are dependent on you making the correct first shot, and then everything else is easy. We're on the low balls again. We have a couple situations going on. One, the 1 ball is clustered up with the 14, but it goes in the side. The 4 is in the pocket. The 8, though, which is our ball, 8's always our ball, is blocked by the 10 ball. So you ask yourself, how are we going to get on the 8? Because it's our ball, right? Now, beginner players, I know where you are. It's okay. Every one of us has been a beginner before. Some of us has been a very long time, but we were beginners before. We know you want to shoot that 1 ball in the side pocket, or you want to shoot the 2 ball in here, or you want to shoot the 4 ball in there. Most likely you want to play the 4 or the 1 because they're layups. You know you're going to make them, but they don't put you out. And I've said in a lot of videos in the past, your job is not to make balls. Your job is to make all of the balls. And the difference between the 5s, 6s, and 7s who are running racks and the 2s and 3s who just want to put balls in the pocket, part of it is the mentality. We're not trying to get the balls off the table. We're trying to get to the 8 ball. So that's your mission, is to get the balls and use them to get you to the 8. So how do you do that here? You don't play the 1 in the side. The 1 goes in the side. Yes, it goes in the side from a lot of different angles. You don't play the 4 because that's a really good insurance shot and it is your best key ball for the 8. And you say to yourself, well, the 8 doesn't go there. How is that the best key ball? We're going to get this 10 out of our way. And this is why I tell you guys all the time, if you're playing against high-ranked players, it doesn't matter if you block a pocket. You do not own that pocket. I still own that pocket because I'm going to get rid of your ball. So if you leave it sitting in the pocket and you ended up breaking up your run because you didn't shoot the duck that was sitting in the pocket, you lost the game because of it. So this is how we're going to run out. We have 1 ball that makes sense to shoot first here, and that is the 2 ball. And it's a straight-in shot. So we're going to shoot a stop shot here. And now we solved all of our problems because the 1 goes in the side off of the 14. And while we're making it, guess what else happens? We get that layup the guy should have shot a long time ago out of the way. Put a little speed on this so that neither ball is sitting there anymore. And we play the 4 I'm actually not even going to shoot a stop shot. I'll just tap it out. And now the 8. So once again, guys, look for these situations. They're on the table all the time. I see guys all the time running racks that are trying to run racks, and they have those situations out there, and a lot of times, more often than not, the average player misses them. So this is how you get through a rack. How do I solve these problems? Stop waiting till the end of the rack to try to figure this out, okay? You got to figure out your problems early, and at the minimum, have a plan, all right? Thanks for watching, guys. You guys are great. I appreciate you subscribing. Give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, you should. And go to nwqpool.com and look at our online course. A lot of people have already signed up for it. A lot of people love it. And I'm sure all of you can benefit from it regardless of what level you're at. Have a great day.
Oh, are we on the air?